This is the app we use for what Americans might call social media or content creation. Hello, I'm Sarah, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the digital memos that the internet lost in the cloud. And one of those memos pertains to TickTock, or, as it's known in some circles, the app that's about to disappear faster than my last attempt at a viral dance challenge. And of course, as a certified social media enthusiast, I've done my fair bit of scrolling, right? Just off the top of my head, I've been on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think from that I've wasted quite a few hours, so I know what I'm talking about. But when it comes to TikTok, whether you're just looking for a quick laugh or something to procrastinate with, it is worth learning that this ban isn't just about losing funny videos. And so, without further ado, let us metaphorically swipe up as I uncover the shockwaves of the TikTok ban and what it means for creators. When I first heard about the TikTok ban, I couldn't believe how serious it was. And not in a "oh no, where will I get my daily dose of cat videos" type way. I mean, this was a $24 billion contribution to the US GDP we're talking about. Lawrence, what do you mean by that? Well, here's how the numbers stack up. TikTok isn't just an app, it's a whole economy. When you enter the world of TikTok, you're not just pressing a button to watch videos, you're stepping into a marketplace where creators, businesses, and consumers all interact. And now, with this ban looming, it's like someone's about to pull the plug on the whole operation. In America, I don't know why my hand is still swiping, but in America, it's a little bit different, because that same app where I enter to watch videos and maybe post a few of my own cringeworthy attempts at trending dances is supporting over 224,000 American jobs. And this is usually not just content creators, but also marketers, data analysts, and even the person who delivers those ring lights to aspiring TikTok stars. So the floor immediately below the GDP impact is the job market, and then small businesses, and then creators. And then, I'm a little bit hazy after that. And then you get to your average user who's just there for the entertainment. And this is where those digital shockwaves really take shape. Or, should I say, size. Because there's one key rule. On the whole, TikTok's impact tends to be larger than their traditional social media counterparts. And the reason for this, as we all know, is that TikTok marginally outedicts other platforms, but it's also because TikTok is about a 40th the age of some other social media giants, and so they just sort of cram things in. In fact, awkwardly, a tiny TikTok video was where I first met my favorite creator, and they were making content in a room about the size of this studio, which surprisingly, given that I am often dubbed America's finest social media addict, is not that big. And at the best of times, I don't like being addicted to apps. But being glued to my phone watching short-form videos was the second most horrifying experience of my life. And I know what you're thinking. You, Sarah, what was the first? Being stuck in an elevator with no cell service. But the next time we scrolled through TikTok, we sure did have a chuck. At least I think we did. I couldn't hear them because they were on the other side of the world. You see, TikTok's reach, like viral trends or follower counts or TikTok itself, is just bigger. It'd have to be, right? Especially given what we've discovered on this channel about the differences in content consumption. And of course, a video is not the only place on TikTok where you'd spend time. In addition to the For You page, the live streams, and in desperate times, the comments section, which should prompt nobody to ask me about the trolling incident of 2020. There is also the small business impact. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, Sarah, TikTok has separate sections for entertainment and shopping. Well, firstly, that's not always true. And secondly, that's not where I was going with this. I was actually going to mention the financial impact. Because while in America, the TikTok ban and the bottom line for small businesses are more or less connected, this is often not the case globally. To go from TikTok to another platform, small businesses often have to kind of step up, because the audience engagement on other platforms is higher up than on TikTok. There's one thing to remember, this getting banned, but getting out when your entire marketing strategy is wet and slip, it could lead to an unintentionally hilarious pivot to LinkedIn. In fact, I do have footage, but I couldn't show it on here because I get hundreds of complaints and an equal number of connection requests. So just take my word for it. Social media platforms are of course found in many places and through much of our daily lives, but never more do I need them than when I'm procrastinating. So because of this, it is worth remembering some of the key differences between TikTok and its alternatives. Don't take my word for it. Instead, listen to me from last year. It was once said by me in just a second from now that you can tell a lot about a platform by the size of its user base, and given its unparalleled record of boasting larger engagement than everyone else, TikTok might fancy its chances of winning the my-algorithm single quotes s-better-than-algorithm debate. But the truth is, and you might find this shocking, alternatives are emerging. You can't talk about social media without talking about features. Features are the protruding sticks of functionality that keep the users attached to the app like a docked spaceship. And the only reason I made a space sim there was to draw your attention to the miniature control tower I made from various app icons while I was bored. Anyway, there are several key differences in this department. On TikTok, the features are ever so slightly more addictive and crucially more engaging. This makes them sturdier and impossible to ignore. How do I know that? Because I was 14 once last week scrolling through. But whereas TikTok, that is short-form video apps, are decidedly Sure, Instagram Reels, which are easily the more outgoing and competitive of the two, definitely do have similar features. But FanBase, which is easily the more innovative and creator-friendly of the bunch, is multi-pronged due to the manner in which it feeds the content into the app. There's also a difference in how they monetize content. On TikTok, the creator fund hangs vertically from the algorithm, thus making it harder to yank consistent income from the platform. And the horizontal connection of FanBase's monetization means that you can do this in theory, and it's highly recommended. One of the biggest concerns for creators visiting FanBase, aside from being forced to create actual quality content, is the great TikTok FanBase divide. On TikTok, creator success is categorized as viral, while it's generally sustainable. Moreover, TikTok operates on a 15-second attention span and FanBase on whatever the creator decides. What does all of this mean? Well, let us just say that you want to use your TikTok skills on FanBase, but it doesn't run on viral, is not algorithm dependent, or is incompatible with your dance moves. In that instance, you'll need to run to Creator Station to pick up some actual skills. A skill converter will convert your TikTok fame into actual talent. In the event that your skill converter doesn't come with a FanBase ready mindset, be sure to also pick up one of these. This mindset adapter is magic. It allows you to turn your TikTok mentality into a FanBase mentality. For creators visiting FanBase, the same applies, but in reverse. A step up in content quality might also be needed to safely use features on both are widely available for creators on the App Store. I'd say the most obvious difference between TikTok and FanBase is the temperature. When I first used FanBase, I couldn't believe how cool it was, and not in a Morgan Freeman type way. I mean, this was a next-gen platform. I just mean it was creator-friendly. But on TikTok, you usually have that problem and/or luxury, because a significant amount of TikTok features are either not monetized or not monetized well. This is a particular problem when you're squished in an algorithm with millions of other creators. As with many areas of life, social media platforms are their own subgenre of feature differences. Take, for instance, the name that we assign to that helpful feature that lets you make money from your content. On FanBase and much of the rest of the creator economy, this is known as monetization. This is the word we use for what TikTok might call the creator fund or brand deals. Also, whether it's situated on the ground or the first page of the app, creators and platforms also coherent agree on what you call that area of the app that you enter. Upon entering FanBase, we usually opt for the word homepage. Please note that TikTokers, just like patrons on my most recent secret stream, are divided on whether this should be pronounced for you page or following page. Either way, FanBase will often call this area the feed. More often than not, creators will call engagement likes. TikTokers will call likes hearts. While FanBase has about 100 words for content format, chief among these are video, images, live streams, audio rooms, or subscription content, and finally, creator camp. This is something I've encountered far more on FanBase than I have on TikTok. This is a community building service offered on platforms in which you pay to join a creator's inner circle. But the use of camps might be confusing to some. You might think of a camp, often pronounced cringe, as a group of similar videos, a fine example of which is the character of Dancing Guy from TikTok's endless stream of copycat content that I somehow keep mentioning in my videos just by coincidence. That's it for this video. Let me know in the comments below some of the social media differences that you've encountered. I'm Sarah Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at LostInTheCloudUS and do forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos do get lost in the algorithm. Thank you to my patrons for literally making this video happen. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so today at patreon.com/LostInTheCloud. Until the next video, goodbye.